So this has the potential to be my shortest point in Quickie of all time, but it's so rare that I get a Steam key in my email inbox that I felt the need to jump on it. We've got a game that even the developer describes as having 45 minutes to an hour of gameplay depending on the player. Oh, shut up. Given how the last two videos went, I'm glad I completed something at all. The game is Football Game, it features precisely zero football to the surprise of hardly anyone, and comes from Cloak and Dagger Games, familiar to me as the creators of RPG point-and-click hybrid Legend of Hand, which I covered late last year. It might seem odd to follow up a game of that size with such a comparatively tiny title, but not unprecedented. I've played an older effort of theirs called A Date in the Park, which was both short and weird. Not only for the late era police quest graphics, but for, well, I won't spoil it. If you want to find out for yourself, it's, as I said, short and it's also free. So yeah, these devs are no stranger to making smaller games. Going back to almost nothing to do with Football Game, you play as Tommy, the local high school football hero, who's getting ready to go to the town's biggest football game of the year, that year being 1987, and see his sweetheart. It's not the most elaborate setup, but it all depends on what the devs do with it, and they do things. First point to get across is that this game is dark, not only in tone, but in, well, another definition of tone. It is dark is what I am saying. In fact, this is the first AGS engine game I can remember having a brightness slider. Some areas of the game are better for this than others, but if, like me, you play the game on a laptop which forces you to be within about 20-degree viewing arc to see the screen properly, you might have trouble. And you might need to make better purchasing choices in the future. Take that, you and me. Once I moved over to a monitor, it was fine. Now, when I hear that a game is on the short side, I tend to assume it's a story-driven affair. Moving you from room to room, nothing taxing in your path, everything is about getting you through the story. That's not the case here. There are puzzles, dialogue, inventory items, backtracking between locations. It's more like a regular adventure game that's been severely compressed. It has puzzles like a regular adventure game. It escalates like a regular adventure game. It has that one fucking puzzle like an adventure game. That's how it feels when you're playing it. It took me a while to figure out the locker code, okay? I was looking in the wrong place. As a consequence of the shortness, the game only features 2 songs on the soundtrack, but they're cool electronic songs that I actually let play out when I got the chance. See, one of the game's odder choices was to have you initiate car travel by inserting an audio cassette into your car radio, and you get the option of letting the track play out while you drive or skipping straight to the location. So if you want to listen to them, drive somewhere. Or buy the soundtrack, I suppose that's an option too. Anyway, my own locker code related brain derp aside, that's surprisingly hard to say. I can't see fault with any of the puzzles. Not too complex, not mind-numbingly dull, they all work. The main appeal of this game, I suspect, is its proudly touted David Lynch influence. That's another buzzword that gives me a twinge of the worries. I can easily see a dev using it as an excuse to do whatever they want without having to explain anything, as if the entire point of the man's output is to be obtuse, a viewpoint that some people are re-evaluating after episode 8 of Twin Peaks The Return, but anyway. No, what clinches that style for me is uncanny, a word which appears right after David Lynch in the Steam description. That feeling of something familiar, looking normal at first glance, yet slightly off in a way you can't immediately pinpoint. So I was happy to see that this was the influence the team were taking. I would have been happier if I thought they'd pulled it off. This next part, much like the ending of the game, is going to be up for interpretation to many people, and I hope I'm phrasing it as a discussion rather than a criticism, but I don't count what happens in the game as uncanny. Now, whilst I don't think what I'm about to say qualifies as a spoiler, it's early on and crucial points of the narrative haven't been revealed yet, but I'll put up this little warning in case you want to go in blind. After a series of mother-related shenanigans, Tommy makes it to the football game. When he starts asking people where his girlfriend is, some people start acting surprised that he would be asking for her, and the rest of the game has you finding out why. To me, that's not uncanny. That's far closer to a fish out of water scenario, like you've time travelled to 1971, you're asking to borrow someone's mobile phone, and they're just looking at you all bamboozled. Tommy has a different interpretation of the situation to everyone else without realising it. I suppose it could be argued that Uncanny is similar to this when one of the viewpoints is just a bit insane, but to go back to Twin Peaks for a second, when we first see the town, it has the appearance of friendly, good old small town America, but harbours layers upon layers of secrets beneath that veneer because it's David Lynch, and of course it does. That veneer isn't present in Football Game. Some people either don't know or don't care about the situation, but everyone else reacts to Tommy with fairly blunt confusion. They're not playing along, they're not trying to project something that's untrue. As I said at the start of this particular ramble, I don't want to frame this as a criticism. The game works by itself without conforming to any of my personal interpretation of Uncanny. I just felt like bringing it up. And speaking of interpretation, the ending is ambiguous enough to spawn a couple of theories, so if you like those, this game has that. That's nearly all I have to say about Football Game. It's short, it's intriguing, it got cool songs, and it's dark. Also, I enjoyed it. I probably should have mentioned that a lot earlier. Once again, we're faced with the "is this short game worth buying" question, further compounded by the devs giving me a code for free, thank you, but I'd say £1.69 is worth it. All depends on how much that is worth to you, of course, and it's worth noting for context that's an extremely low amount for me, but I certainly don't think they're overcharging for it. If you're the type who analyses an ending to gather some kind of meaning out of the ether, then this could provide an entire evening's worth of entertainment for you. Everyone else will get a well-made but very short adventure game.